So over the last several weeks, I've spent a lot of time behind the wheel, driving around, trying to find and locate arcade cabinets to restore and repair. In my adventures, I had actually come across a couple of what I consider just straight up donor cabinets. The one particular that you see behind me definitely didn't look like this. In fact, it looked like this. It was kitted out with the game Carnival King, which is an Incredible Technologies light gun game. The game board itself didn't work, the CRT monitor was dead, so it was basically 100% a donor at that point. I stripped it out for parts, removed everything I didn't need or didn't want to use, ended up selling all those spare parts for more than I paid for the cabinet, so the cabinet ended up being 100% for free, which was great. So I decided to make my very own WrestleMania 1995, the arcade game. One of my favorite childhood games growing up. You don't see these cabinets very often, specifically WrestleMania, the arcade game. Now the classic Midway cabinet design, you see those all the time, but you never see WrestleMania the arcade game, and you can argue that for whatever reason. So I decided to make my own. Originally, when I got deep into this cabinet, I saw some branding and some labeling that this was supposed to be War of the Final Assault from Atari in 1999. However, I saw, other than the stickers and the emblems, no real evidence that this cabinet had ever been a War Final Assault. There's no graphics on the side that were painted over or anything like that. It was just bare wood. Internally, there was no control panel JAMA harness that would lead me to believe that it was ever connected to a War Final Assault. The JAMA harness that was already in there was spliced to bejesus. Who knows how, when, why, and where this ever went from, or if it was ever a War Final Assault cabinet. But regardless, I didn't feel bad about not turning this back into a War Final Assault cabinet, because number one, that game's not really great, and number two, I don't care. This is one of my favorite games. The artwork itself is something that's always been appealing to me. I'm a huge Undertaker fan, so naturally, when you see the dead man on the side of the cabinet, you gotta have it. You got the classic old school chrome WWF logo, none of that WWE nonsense. You got the WrestleMania logo, Midway on the side. You got the 8 characters on the front of the control deck. The artwork, just in my opinion, it's 90s, it's great. It's the core of when I became a wrestling fan, those mid-90s, so absolutely loved the artwork. For the cabinet itself, the artwork came from Escape Pod Online. I've used other companies in the past, but Escape Pod's really good, specifically with the thickness they use in their vinyl artwork. Other companies kind of tend to scrimp, make it very, very thin, and it's not the best when they go that route. Control deck and everything, had to replace the control panel because it wasn't set up for any kind of joysticks or buttons, so I got a brand new control panel, plexi overlay, as well as metal overlay from XL Arcades. It's phenomenal, fits like a glove. Already had the pre-drilled holes and everything. Just had to put the joysticks and buttons in there. For joysticks and buttons, I went with the same thing I do on every single cabinet build I ever do, whether it's a mod or whatever. IL Euro sticks, as well as HAP competition buttons and D44X Cherry micro switches. I've got it set up for a 6-button layout, and if you're familiar with WrestleMania the arcade game, it's like Mortal Kombat. It has a 5-button dice layout. So what I've done is I've custom mapped all the buttons to where I can play the 2 middle buttons as the block button. When I'm playing my Mortal Kombat games, I can play those, same thing. Double buttons in the middle are block. For the later Mortal Kombat game, I got a block on top and a run in the middle. So it works out great. Play all my Street Fighter games, play basically any game I want to play on this, old, new, you name it. I've got a B-Link GT King running inside this thing, so it powers it up, runs great. Dreamcast, Atomic Wave, Naomi, MAME, Final Burn Alpha, Neo Geo, you name it. You can play it, PlayStation, which is great because I can even play the sequel to WrestleMania the arcade game, WWF In Your House, which is, again, another underrated, underappreciated game, if you personally ask me. Had it on my Sega Saturn growing up, played the bejesus out of it, so naturally I want to be able to play the sequel to this as well as WrestleMania the arcade game. It makes sense to me. Now, there's gonna be a lot of purists out there going, you're not running the original PCB, and you're 100% right. The original PCB goes for around $300 to $400. I think I've got $550 total in this entire build. So practicality purposes, I can play thousands of games plus the game I want for a little more than just playing one singular solitary game. And like I said, the CRT was dead, so if I was gonna rehab this and 100% make it faithful, I would, absolutely try to go the PCB route with the CRT. But since the CRT was dead, had to put an LCD monitor in there. I've got a 27-inch Samsung gaming monitor, 1 millisecond response time, so there's no lag to worry about or anything like that. So, I enjoy it. I'm gonna have lots of fun playing this thing. It's a gorgeous looking cabinet, if you ask me personally. I got my illuminated coin buttons on the front so I can enter my credits. I've even Put a little exit button there on the front where the light gun was there. I thought about filling it up on the cabinet, sanding it down, repainting and everything, but I was like, you know what? I can just put a button right there, use it as my exit for my menus, and while I'm playing my games, easy peasy, don't have to worry about things like that. So one thing I did have to take some creative liberties with was the control panel overlay graphic. Obviously it was originally set up for a 5-button layout, not these 6 buttons, so I did cut out the defense buttons, relocate them, and kind of resplice in the graphics. That way it looks nice and clean and it doesn't look like I chopped it up. So you can't tell. Everything looks like it's supposed to be like that from the factory, but you know, lo and behold, it wasn't. Inside the coin door, I've got my amplifier, so I can sit there easily turn the volume up, volume down, don't have to crawl around to the back of the cabinet or anything like that, so easy access there. Went with brand new red T-molding across the cabinet. The original cabinet had black T-molding. Honestly considered throwing purple T-molding on it, you know, to go in line with the Undertaker theme, but I already have purple T-molding on my Blitz cabinet, and I didn't really want 2 cabinets with purple T-molding sitting side by side in the garage. It seemed a little redundant to me. So I went with the bright red. Looks like Mortal Kombat stands out, you know. It matches the Midway logo that is on the side, so I thought it was a good choice. Went ahead and put a convenient little vinyl graphic that has all the character move sets there on the bottom of the bezel that I made for this LCD monitor. And I also found a new old stock vinyl sticker that has the how to play game from Midway, which never been really the most in-depth details as far as how to play the game, but I thought it was a nice touch to go ahead and get the new old stock sticker versus the new sticker that has the more in-depth tutorial on how to play the game. Gameplay is great. Like I said, it's emulation, but it plays exceptionally well. It's not a hard game to emulate. It's got combos for days. You can do quote-unquote fatalities, aka super pins in here. The game is misunderstood in my opinion. I think a lot of people just walk up to it, button mash it, and say, oh, this is hard, and they walked away from it. There's a lot of depth to the game. You just got to spend some time with it, enjoy it, figure it out, learn all those secret moves, those combos. It's great stuff. Infinite combos, you name it, it's in there. Gotta love it. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you familiar with WrestleMania, the arcade game? Are you a fan? Do you hate it? Either way, doesn't matter because I love it, and I hope you enjoyed this little rundown of this cabinet build. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. As always, if you liked the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, thanks for watching, guys. It really means a lot.